welcome to The Explainer. Today, we are tackling two of the absolute pillars of management, staffing and directing. These are really the two engines that decide if a company is just going to float along or if it's going to soar. So let's dive right in and figure out what it really takes to build a team that doesn't just clock in, but truly comes alive. This quote from Narayan Murthy, the former CEO of Infosys, just hit so hard. He really understood a core truth. A company's most valuable assets aren't the desks or the computers, it's the people. It's their brainpower, their skills, their passion. And here's the thing, unlike office furniture, they have feet. They can choose to walk out and not come back. So that begs the huge question, right? How do you create a place where your best people don't just feel obligated to show up, but are genuinely excited to be there, ready to give it their all day in and day out? Well, the answer really comes down to mastering two fundamental parts of management. And that brings us to our very first pillar, staffing. This is the science, really, of getting the right people on the bus in the first place. Okay, so let's get specific. Staffing isn't just, posting a job ad and hoping for the best. It's a strategic function. Think of it like being an architect for your team. It's about making sure that every single spot is filled by the right person for the right role at exactly the right moment. If you mess this part up, even the most brilliant strategy is just, it's dead in the water. So, where does this whole journey begin? It starts with recruitment. And the goal here is simple but absolutely critical. You want to cast your net as wide as possible to attract the biggest pool of qualified people you can. I mean, you can't hire the perfect person for the job if they never even see the application, right? And right away, you face a huge strategic choice. Do you look inside your own walls or do you look outside? Promoting internally is awesome. It saves money and it's a huge morale booster for your current team. But you do risk getting stuck in an echo chamber. On the other hand, recruiting externally brings in fresh blood and new ideas, but it's more expensive and there's always that gamble. Will they actually fit in with the culture? Okay, so once the applications start rolling in, the whole selection process really works like a funnel. You start broad, with a preliminary screening just to sift through the resumes and create a shortlist. Then you get more focused with tests that can actually measure skills and aptitude. After that comes the really human part, the interview, where you're not just looking for skills, but for personality and that all-important cultural fit. Every step narrows the field until, boom, you're left with that one perfect candidate who gets the job offer. But look, getting the right person hired isn't the finish line. It's really just the starting block. And this is where it's so important to know the difference between training and development. Training is about the now. It's giving an employee the skills to do their current job, like learning a new piece of software. Development is about the future. It's about investing in their overall growth, building them up for a long-term career. One's a quick fix, the other's a long-term investment. All right, so you've used smart staffing, you've built this incredible team. Now what? You have to get them moving. And this brings us to our second pillar, the art of directing. If staffing is about building a world-class engine, directing is about turning the key, hitting the gas, and steering that car where it needs to. Directing is the function that breathes life into your strategy. It activates all the potential you worked so hard to hire. It's this continuous loop of guiding, instructing, motivating, and supervising. Without good directing, you just have a collection of talented people. With it, you have a powerhouse team, all pulling in the same direction. And the directing function really stands on four legs. You've got supervision, you've got motivation, leadership, and communication. All four are crucial, but that one in the middle, motivation, that might just be the most complex and powerful piece of the entire puzzle. So let's just ask the question straight up. What really gets people fired up to do their best work? Is it all about the paycheck? Or is there something, deeper going on? The secret is understanding our basic human needs, because we bring those with us to work every single day. Think about it like a pyramid. Down at the very bottom, you've got your basic needs, a fair wage, a safe place to work. You have to have that foundation. Once that's covered, people start looking for a sense of belonging, having good friends at work. Then you move up to esteem needs, things like a cool job title or getting recognized for great work. And at the very, very top, you have self-actualization. This is that deep human drive to reach our absolute full potential. A great leader gets that you have to take care of the bottom layers before you can truly inspire people with the stuff at the top. And that, right there, is the heart of leadership. It's that ability to build real relationships and then motivate people to go above and beyond. Real leaders, like a young Bill Gates at Microsoft, they do more than just manage. Their special kind of genius is in their ability to get a whole team to chase a vision with unbelievable energy and passion.
Okay, so we've got our two pillars now, staffing and directing. They're definitely two different things, but they are completely linked. Let's actually put them side by side and see how they work together to create a complete system.
Let's just boil this all down. Staffing is all about the who, getting the right people. Directing is the what and the why, guiding what they do and giving them a reason to do it. And to go back to our metaphor, staffing builds the incredible engine, directing gets in the driver's seat and steers the car. You absolutely cannot win the race unless you have both.
And look, this isn't just stuff for a business school textbook. Understanding how staffing and directing feed each other, that is the central challenge for any leader today. It's about shifting from just being a manager to being someone who truly builds and inspires.
There's this amazing example from the Ford Motor Company. They realized they didn't just need to hire more managers. What they actually needed was a totally new breed of leader they called a warrior entrepreneur. These are the people with the guts to shake things up and drive change from the inside. And that really leaves us with one last big question to think about. When you look at your own team or your own company, are you just staffing? Are you just filling empty boxes on an org chart? Or are you truly leading? Are you building and directing an army of warrior entrepreneurs who won't just come back tomorrow morning, but who will drag your organization into the future?